Why is Alaska so dangerous? Our focus today is on Alaska. This state is in the extreme northwest of North America, is a semi-exclave of the U.S., sharing borders with British Columbia and Yukon in Canada. Alaska is one of the Earth's most beautiful and unspoiled places. It is full of coastal mountains and vast unspoiled tundras with ice fields and rivers teeming with fish. Unfortunately, despite the idyllic nature of this state, life in Alaska is not without its peculiar challenges. We are standing with Alaskans as we access their safety and collective sense of safety. This video will attempt to answer the question, why is Alaska so dangerous? Please note you will have the opportunity to share your own opinion after watching this video. Is Alaska really dangerous? The question in this video isn't about whether or not Alaska is dangerous. There's no such question. Facts and figures are explicit on that. As far back as 1985, the state has been consistently in the news for the wrong reasons. That year, a Chicago Tribune article reported that the state had the third highest per capita murder rate in the United States. In 2008, a total of 24,576 crimes were reported in Alaska. This included 27 murders, 445 rapes, and 20,097 property crimes. Then in 2014, the state experienced 25,018 crimes, including 41 murders, 555 rapes, and 20,334 property crimes. And in 2019, it received reports of 27,811 crimes, including 70 murders, 1,101 rapes, and 21,469 property crimes. One high-profile crime that occurred in 2016 is an example of how unsafe the state is. James Dale Ritchie killed not less than 4 people and wounded at least 1 police officer in Anchorage in the state. Meanwhile, capital punishment isn't applied in Alaska. Prior to its statehood, it had been abolished by the territorial legislature. These are just parts of the proof the 49th state of the U.S. that was admitted to the Union in 1959 is dangerous. Now let's go into the reasons why the state that has the Pacific Ocean to the south and southwest is dangerous. High violent crime rates. Since 2018, about 400 people a year have been succumbing to an untimely death, mostly from violent crimes in the state, making it the nation's second most deadly state. Crime data for Alaska in 2021 from one source shows that 49 individuals were murdered in the state. A total of 1,132 rapes, 712 robberies, and 4,233 assaults were also reported. To help you appreciate the gravity of this, consider its rate per 1,000 residents. Based on the figures we just gave you about the state's population, the rate of murder is 7 per 1,000, rape 1.54 per 1,000, robbery 0.97, and assault 5.77 per 1,000. These are higher than the U.S. rates of 7, 0.4, 0.7, and 2.8 respectively. There's little deterrent for crime in the state, as you can see from what we said earlier. However, this is even more complicated by the fact that many villages and towns in the state lack any law enforcement as they don't have their own police forces. In case a resident witnesses a crime or becomes a victim, the only option of reporting it is to find the closest location to call and find out if they have law enforcement officers to come to his aid. Even when you're able to report a crime, you have to wait for the arrival of the Alaska State Troopers, which can take hours due to long distances and difficult terrain. Associate Attorney General Tony West once complained to the Washington Post that there are rural places in Alaska where a woman can be raped or a child be abused while the victim won't get any help whatsoever. West added that if help would come at all, it might take 36 hours before the earliest responders show up at the scene or respond to a call for help after the crime is committed. Just imagine, you were a victim of violence and no one is there to help as a weather condition that doesn't allow you to get out of your community and that prevents any responder from coming. Dangers from untamed wildlife. This is a nightmare to the tourism industry, fetching the state millions of bucks each year. Bear attacks always make headlines. We've heard and read about people disappearing in the mountains and never seen again. Such stories are common to people going on big game hunts in the sparsely populated or unpopulated areas of Alaska. Such missing people have either ended up in the stomach of bears or wolves. And regardless of the potency of your repellent, the mosquitoes can eat you alive. It's so scary that those predators can charge you without any notice. Moose and even insects infecting the place have also made those areas of the state extremely dangerous, since they can be carriers of yet-to-be-discovered diseases in addition to the known ones. Hunters in Alaska are always told that they should go hunting in groups of 2 or more, and they also reiterate the warning to whom it may concern. The cautionary due process and measure is that once the hunter catches his game and begins gunning it, he'll have grizzlies to deal with. Those with him must be on guard for his back. Otherwise, he can become the next meal of a hungry and angry bear. Harsh climate increases the danger. When you were asked, why is Alaska so dangerous, have you ever thought about the effect of climate? The climate in the state is harsh. Combining that with the rigors of daily life can take a heavy toll. Those living in Alaska often have or like to be out in cold weather. Well, you can do it even in the snow and ice. It's kind of a hobby that Alaskans want to do. However, the danger lies in going out to fish, snowmobile, hunt, or just walk. What if the ice breaks out from underneath you? You'll be shot down into an ice cavern or be plunged into some cold, deep water. Either way, it's death, instantly. Besides, you have to struggle to avoid being sad in Alaska. Being sad is nothing new to many residents of Alaska, especially during the winter when it can get cold, such that the authorities usually only advise emergency travel. In the real sense of it, beyond an emotional state, season affective disorder, SAD, makes Alaska so dangerous to live in. SAD refers to an actual mental issue that develops when you're confined indoors and are forced to remain there for long periods. It's a massive problem in the state, making it far from safe for those who can't take the extra care. What about disasters? Let's check this out from storms on the seas, which can bring trouble to Alaska. Anyone living in a prominent area of water can expect some storms anytime, and these cause damaging waves, especially when you're out on the water. If you think you can sail through big waves, what about tsunamis that can crash down on you? As the area doesn't always allow access to phones and radios, these can happen without notice. Landslides and avalanches are also common dangers in Alaska. They're more frequent in the state than you'd realize. In the Alaskan wilderness, wildfires love to take action. They can destroy everything, which in effect becomes fuel for them. With the slightest mistake in the wild forests in Alaska, massive fires zealously welcome your invitation. Human-caused fires are almost unavoidable everywhere, and Alaska is no exception. Alaska is at a higher risk of this because it's a mix of humans and wildlands. That's why the damage and loss are usually huge each time they occur. Apart from human error, some crazy lightning storms that usually hit the ground randomly in various parts of the state also cause wildfires. Also, earthquakes can at times get extreme in Alaska. Depending on where they live, many are probably used to dealing with earthquakes. Alaskans have more experience. Besides, though rare, volcanic eruptions are another possibility in the state. Some 130 volcanoes and volcanic fields are in the state, 50 of which have produced some action since the 1700s, proving their activeness. You sure wouldn't agree if you were told the state is safe. There are about 90 sites in Alaska that could erupt at any moment now. Of course, the last volcanic eruption in the area was in 1912. While that means they're not a common occurrence, the possibility is there. Another serious disaster making Alaska so dangerous is freezing to death. This can happen in Alaska so quickly. The average winter temperature in the state is estimated to be between 0 and -30 degrees Fahrenheit. At these temperatures, it takes less than an hour to freeze to death. It's now your turn. Why do you think Alaska is so dangerous, apart from what you have seen here? Kindly share your thoughts and state whether or not you agree. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.